Hi guys. So for this design sprint, this last one, it's really about talking about like the circle and like what it means to you and the circle collection. And for me, as soon as I see a circle, I think of transparency, being open, and then a cycle, cause like and then like circle of life. And so that's always been like the first thing I can kind of associate with something being round, no edges, no sharp edges to it, just completely almost like safe, it like maybe comfort as well. But another thing that I picture when I think of like a circle, if you told me like to draw something around a circle, I would also think of like my guitar, or even anything like an acoustic guitar, anything that has that opening, where basically the music and the sound comes out. That's another way of interpreting a circle as a symbol for music as well. To put it a step further, I would say having an infinity sign also be incorporated in my design, or like my interpretation of the circle, is also another thing, because it's basically like two circles that overlap, and that can be also symbolization for how life itself is always going to kind of cross paths or create like a new thing by combining with each other, if that makes sense. So like my design, which I'll put on the screen, is basically that. It's kind of the infinity sign, but also with myself intertwined with it, because the symbolization of that is I'm bound to life for as long as my life cycle lives out. And that's kind of how I interpreted the prompt, as when how I see a circle. I'm kind of put on this earth to live a certain time and have my purpose and live out my true purpose and put everything that I have to offer out into the world until my time is up. And then even after that, I feel like in a way souls still live on. So even after I'm gone, life goes on. And that's the thing about how the infinity sign plays a part into that, how it's continuous, it's infinity. It's basically like we don't really know what's gonna happen after we're gone. And also it's a bit talking about the unknown, which is what another thing I associate a circle with as well, because a circle can also be interpreted as like a hole, and a hole of darkness as well, and that can also be the unknown. And a lot of people can fear the unknown, embrace the unknown, and face it head on, or kind of shy away from it. And that's another thing that I also associate with a circle. Or like even when I think of circles, I think of it more like unity and combining like mindsets, or combining like personalities, like just combinations. And when I think of like a square, I feel like it's like a box. And even if I see like a line, I think of division. But I think a circle kind of feels like more like comfort rather than something like pushing you away. So that's another thing. Oh, my quote that goes with what I'm gonna go into, that I have to pull up for a second. So the quote that I have pulled up is, life is sort of a circle. You come back to a lot of the interests that you had early in life. And I think that that's super true, because when I was little, I was always passionate about music, art, anything under the sort. And then as I got older, it became kind of a strict focus on school. And I think I strayed away from my interest that I had when I was younger, because I had less responsibility to think about. But then when COVID happened, it kind of opened up like the interests that I used to have when I was younger, and I kind of took those and continued doing them. And then I learned a lot about myself when I did go back to doing the things I did when I was younger. So yes, like full circle of finding myself and kind of expressing myself in the ways that I did when I was young, which makes me feel more like myself. and that's how the full circle comes around. And even how I am as a designer, I try every day to have a mindset that's open, and to be a good listener, to really try and think more than what's on the surface. And I do think that circles play a big part in that, because a circle can be like make sure, like, to basically put yourself to be more transparent and not put so many walls up when you do meet new people and interact with new people and try new things. And I think like being placed in a box and only being kind of in one niche, and you kind of only stick to one thing, I think that's like limiting yourself, so you're not really doing what you could, like what like you might be able to do. Like you'll never know if you like something else if you always kind of stick to the same thing. And I think like circles can really like kind of enhance that, like kind of tell you to be more open, to kind of, and open in a lot of more different ways, like open-minded or more expressive. Really express your emotions, don't bottle things in. And I think that's like another thing that I vision when I see circles too. But yeah, so that's basically my design. Hope you kind of understood what I was getting at, or hope it was close to what the prompt is asking. I kind of just went based off like what I think of with circles and how I interpret circles and how I include circles into my life. But that's that. But yeah, so thanks for listening, and yeah.